I'm Rachel from the training department, and I'm here with Rob from the sport department, and we're going to have a little chat today about some projects which are going on around the country about encouraging centres to engage with and reflect their local community. I guess first things first, why is that important to the RYA, Rob?
I think it's important, even broader than the RYA. It's really important to the success of the sports going forward. All of our sports that we deliver through the RYA are reflected by quite a small part of the community, and very often, if you just take a look at the small radius around your club or centre, there's a much broader diversity of people than there are in your club. So by engaging with that broader diversity, you'll end up with a stronger, healthier club that reflects the local community and is really going to have far more longevity as a venue.
I mean, that's kind of a brilliant way of putting it, and trying to encourage our centres and clubs to do that. How can we engage with the local community if we already are not reflective? How do we get into that? It's
pretty tough. Nobody's saying it's easy. I think you've got to consider what the barriers are to people attending your venue, and speak to as many people as you can about what those barriers might be, because for us sometimes it's hard to see or understand what barriers are because we've been involved in that venue for so long. So really consider what the barriers are, and then think about some ways of explaining how those barriers can be removed or jumped over or gone around.
Well, brilliant. I mean, let's hear from Asha Robinson, who's been working on the Urban Winds project in London.
I think the biggest barrier is about the accessibility of sailing that people do not realise. We started the programme, we had 6 people, and those 6 people then acquired the qualification. Then they happen to not only just go around to other centres and work there, they even meet people at other social events that are outside of sailing, talk about it. So the word of mouth is actually providing the realisation to a lot of people that sailing is accessible, and that is why now we're at a point where we have up to 16 people attending at one time.
Before the apprenticeship, I'd only ever sailed once before. I loved it, but I never thought I'd have an opportunity to do it in London. It's important to have representation in sailing because it gives people from all over role models to look up for, people who look like them, sound like them, people that they can really connect with and get inspired by.
Everybody should be represented because it does affect how many people go into the sport. It affects what kind of people go into it. For example, as females, there is a smaller quantity, I would say. And with my friends being female sailors and there being female instructors in my centre, I feel like it's helped me a lot with actually continuing forward. So the more I see female representation, it makes me more confident, and like I can be like, yeah, I can do that.
What excites me most about the future of this programme is that naturally, eventually, I won't be running it. What's going to happen, we're going to have these instructors here that are going to develop, and I can already envisage that one of them will be running this project.
So it's great to hear from Asha about the Urban Winds project, which is now kind of self-perpetuating. It's been going on for a couple of years now and is pulling in people from the local community, and we're hoping to replicate that kind of success over in Bristol. Tell us a little bit about that, Rob.
Thanks. Yeah, we've been working on the New Horizons project in Bristol, which started off by linking with 2 local community groups, Black to Nature and DET Entertainment, and those 2 community groups got involved in some sailing lessons for families. So we got the families along and they've been sailing for a couple of years, and then introduced them to local sailing clubs. So through that project, that kind of is self-rolling as well on its own now, which is fantastic. But there was definitely demand, and when we were listening to the community groups, there was demand for employability. And a lot of the young people in Bristol are struggling to find a job that they really want to do. It's really obvious that water sports or powerboating is not even on their radar. So we created a video with Trace from one of the local community groups, interviewing some local people, employers, trainers, about the course and about what might be involved to remove one of those barriers, actually. So we've got a bit of that video now.
Hi, I'm down here today at the Bristol Marine Baltic Wharf to find out about a new training course which is available free of charge to enable underrepresented groups to access career opportunities in the marine industry. This is a Royal Yachting Association powerboating course with an additional qualification to allow a person to work within a marine sector. Could you tell us a bit more about the program?
It's taking place here in the Bristol docks with British Marine. Takes about 6 days in total, so 3 sections of 2 days each, over weekends in March and April. Fully funded by the RYA. 6 candidates can take part in the course. There is a small charge that a candidate would have to put in, which is refunded at the end. It's £150, and that just makes sure that there is a 100% completion of the course. That's hopefully going to get everyone who participates in the course a powerboat commercial endorsement, which allow them to start working in the marine industry.
So I had a go this morning. It was a bit wobbly, but how long did it take you maybe to just get yourself in confidence to be driving out there?
Not long. Anyone can drive a boat. Anyone can go forwards or backwards in a boat. It's really simple, it's really easy, it's really comfortable. It's the finer points of boat driving skills that take a bit more time, but you'd be amazed how quickly you can pick up on those skills just by spending time on the water, spending time with a boat, but just going with the right people for the right amount of time, you'd be a pro in no time.
For me, as a black woman, I never would have thought that maybe I would feel comfortable fitting in here, but I have been to here before and I felt really comfortable here. And I think that might be a barrier that people that like me are probably thinking that I wouldn't fit here, not just as a woman, but as a black woman or a black person. So I think with this course here that you're putting on, would everyone like myself be welcomed?
Yeah, and I think you'd be surprised how confident you would feel about the water or being on the water after you've done the course. The commercial endorsement course, you've got to do about 5 different courses, including like your powerboat course, your first aid at sea, sea survival, VHF. So you really get to learn from like all the different points of being on the water. And I think just doing a week of that course, you would be like, I want to work on the harbour and I know what I'm doing. You would not only would feel like, yes, I want to work here, but you'd also know what you've got to do, and you'd feel comfortable getting in a boat and going off to work the next day. You really would.
What about someone who has to go and pray or has to wear a certain head covering? Is that allowed?
Yeah, for sure. We actually have a guy on our team who started quite recently who prays. He goes off at certain times of the day. He also does like fasting and stuff, and we all support that. He's so lovely, and he's sort of opened our eyes up to sort of some of those barriers. Things like asking if he could bring his mum for a day on a boat. Now he feels comfortable driving a boat. I taught him a bit. He's done his level 2 course with the RYA now, and he feels really comfortable, and he wants to bring his mum down because his mum is this sort of like, she's worried about the water. She's not sure. She's like, my son working on water. No. But actually we're like, yeah, bring her down. We'll take her out. She'll have a lovely day. We'll do whatever she feels comfortable doing. But yeah, there's nothing there that I could foresee ever being an issue working in or around the water.
Well, as you've seen today, I've been out on the water. I've absolutely loved it. There's something completely different from water to land.
That's great to see that you've got lots of people interested in coming and taking part in the course. What sort of steps would you recommend a centre could take if they wanted to try and replicate this with their local community?
So some of the things we found really useful are the use of social media in that video, along with another short video to just gain interest initially. By sharing those videos on our own social media or your club's social media, you could then ensure that they're shared with the other local community groups. And what we found was one community group shared that video and immediately then others saw it because they're all following each other, and yet they're not following the centre or the RYA. So ensuring that you're penetrating that social media in that way is really important. And in the video, using people that they can relate to and talking about the barriers that they are probably feeling about.
That sounds like a really good first few steps for our centres to look at. Thanks very much, Rob.